Now let's take a look at what happens when we divide using exponents. So you remember when we were talking about fractions, we can cancel out like terms. So when we have x to the fifth over x squared, we have 5x's all multiplied together over 2x's multiplied together. And we can cancel some of these out, right? We have an x that will cancel with this x. We have another x that will cancel with this x, leaving us with 3 x's on the top and simply a 1 on the bottom. Remember, when they cancel out, it doesn't turn into a 0, it turns into a 1. So this is going to bring us to x to the third over 1, or simply x to the third. We can look at this one as well. With x squared on top, we have 2 x's multiplied by each other. X times x over 3 x's multiplied by each other. X times x times x. Now we have an x that cancels out here. We have an x that cancels out here. And that gives us a 1 on the top and an x on the bottom. So we can see a bit of a pattern showing. When we have quotients, we can simply take the number on top and subtract it from the number on the bottom, if the number on top is bigger. If the number on the bottom is bigger, we take the number on the bottom and subtract it from the number on the top, and subtract the number on the top, and that number will stay in the bottom, x to the first, or simply x. And that rule is given to you right here. So you have to pay attention to which number is bigger, the one on the top or the one on the bottom. If the one on the top is bigger, you do not have a fraction as your remainder, or as your result, or your evaluation. You are simply going to have that variable or that number to that power. If you have the larger number on the bottom, you are going to end up with a fraction with the base and the exponent in the denominator. So let's look at a few examples using these rules. So we have x to the ninth over x to the seventh. So the larger number is in the numerator, so we are not going to end up with a fraction. So we're going to have x to the ninth minus 7, which will give us x squared. Let's look at number 2. We have 3 to the 10th over 3 squared. The 1 in the numerator has the larger exponent, so we are not going to have a fraction. So we have 3 to the 10th minus 2 equals 3 to the 8th. And if you wanted to evaluate 3 to the 8th, you can. Go to your calculator, and I believe 3 to the 8th, you hit the 3, x to the y button, do an 8 equals 6,561. Let's look at some more examples. So in these two, we have the larger exponent in the denominator, so we are going to end up with fractions. So we have 1 over b to the 12th minus 8. And that is going to give us 1 over b to the 4th. And in this one, again, the larger number is in the denominator, so we're going to end up with a fraction. 1 over 7 to the 5th minus 3, which is going to equal 1 over 7 squared. We can evaluate 7 squared. It'll be 1 over 49. So go ahead and work on the problems in the student-led example, and we will touch back soon.